So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I am your host, the big boss. This is the big boss. And I want to welcome all of you to your show, ladies and gentlemen. This is the only public service watch announcement channel out there. The only one. Nobody would dare to do what we do. And we do it because, we're stupid like that. We're just stupid like that. So just don't remember, just remember, don't remember, just remember that this is the only watch public service announcement channel out there. All right, guys? And don't forget, I am your host, the big boss. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start off by telling all of you, just in case you guys don't know, we always talk about precious metals in this channel as we talk about watches and we talk a little bit about everything. So we're going to just start off with the watch prices of precious metal. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, to my astonishment, the price, the troy ounce price of rhodium, the people that steal the calibrator, under the car, rhodium, they got it under the car. Those rats, they crawl on the floor and they unscrew it and they take the caterpillar, you show me the word. You know the word. Say it for me. This is your show. That material, catalytic converter, the troy ounce price today, it's a shocking, ladies and gentlemen. It's a shocker. You're not going to believe this. It's at $12,500 a troy ounce. You do whatever you want, but it's going all the way to the sky, all the way to the moon, all the way to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. That is rhodium, $12,500 a troy ounce. And ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this, but the price of palladium, ladies and gentlemen, it is $1,870 a troy ounce. $1,870 the palladium. Platinum, ladies and gentlemen. Platinum, I'm telling you to be careful, ladies and gentlemen. No sean lambones y palomos. Don't be crumb bums. Don't be sandbags. Don't do it, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm telling you, platinum also is at $2,307 a troy ounce. That's right. This is the only channel that's going to tell you the truth. These people don't want you. They want to keep you, as dummies, dumbing down on you people so you guys won't realize what's happening. They're throwing thunder lightning, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to know that they're throwing thunder lightning at us, so we must do allegedly and salute the owl. Salute the owl, ladies and gentlemen. Salute the owl, please. Salute the owl, because they're coming for me. They're coming for me, ladies and gentlemen. I know what I'm trying to tell you. They're coming for me. So I'm going to salute the owl, at the grove. I also want to say something. Let me just do the owl first. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an unbelievable recovering tomato can that's been here in this channel for some years already. I'm going to call him Mr. Ed. Mr. Ed. And ladies and gentlemen, he sent me a link on the Bohemian Grove. Over there, the Bohemian Grove over there, in July. They all get together. And if you see that little special video that Mr. Ed sent me, it's going to blow your hair back and knock your socks off, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, for your own good, please salute the owl. Salute the owl. I know what I'm telling you. Mr. Blair. So, ladies and gentlemen, platinum is at $2,307 a troy ounce. You see, when we salute the owl, they relax. They take out the thunder lightning antenna, so they will knock out our TV antenna and tower, and they let us go. Everything that I'm saying here is allegedly. Everything that I'm going to say here today is allegedly. Allegedly. You know what that means? You don't know about that, but it's allegedly. And ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe silver. Silver, ladies and gentlemen, coño, silver, bro. I'm telling you, to the ones that didn't get on the bus on gold, that's fine. You got silver. Ladies and gentlemen, the Troy ounce of silver. You're not going to believe this, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I'm in total shock. It's at $90.96 a troy ounce. Saludos, Alex. Un abrazo. Un abrazo. $90.96. The world is upside down. And ladies and gentlemen, the one that you request always, because they keep on telling you that it's going to go down to 2,000. It's going to the moon. It's going to the moon. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you the other day that it's going to hit $6,000 gold, a troy ounce, before the end of the year, before the year ends. But I'm going to take the liberty and follow, that Sachs Goldman. You know, Sachs Goldman and Bank of America. You know what I'm trying to say? And JP Morgan. You know, I can keep on going. They're saying, and when those people, talk, everybody listens. You know, when E.F. Hutton talks, everybody listens. It's going to go to $6,300. I didn't say that. I told you who said that. J.P. Morgan, I'm trying to say? You know what I'm trying to say. Look at that. Goldman Sachs bought tons of silver. Tons. I didn't say that. Look in your comments so you can learn. Just to let you know what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a character. It's a watch, a channel that he's unbelievable. He has an olive oil voice. Olive oil voice. And then it's another one too, which I call in a sweet way, the Hungry Hippo, Mr. Magoo. And, both of these channels, the one with the olive oil voice, his name is, ¿cómo se llama el tipo ese? Morgan Andrew. You know Morgan Andrew? And ladies and gentlemen, Morgan Andrew says that the watch market, I say it in my own style. He says it in his own style. He says that the watch market is dead. He's saying that the watch market is dead. And also, ladies and gentlemen, the Hungry Hippo, Mr. Magoo, ladies and gentlemen. The Hungry Hippo, Mr. Magoo. You know, he makes his videos. And ladies and gentlemen, he is saying that some watch brands are going bankrupt. They're going bankrupt already. Because he doesn't want to say, that the watch market is dead. No more pigs this Christmas. No more pigs. We also have, the no spending money challenge of 2026. The no spending money challenge of 2026. Like the ice bucket water challenge. We have the no spending money challenge of 2026. Smart money is staying away from luxury goods. Just to let you know, you do whatever you want with your money. You spend it as you please. But smart money is staying away from luxury goods. I know what I'm trying to tell you. You know what I'm trying to say, Alberto. You know, Albertito, what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. The no spending challenge. La situación está jodida, papi. For people like me, for what I do for you people for free, you guys should be, it's incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we got hit by a thunder lightning TV antenna. I'm telling you, because, something is going on. I see that something, it's like, no spending challenge of 2026. So be careful what we say here, You know what I'm trying to say. I'm going to keep on talking about something, ladies and gentlemen. These people, these watch dealers are so desperate that I'm going to go back to talk about the Hungry Hippo, Mr. Magoo. The Hungry Hippo, Mr. Magoo, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, in this channel, I give you my prices, but since I'm not like a Morgan Andrew, since I'm not like the Walrus fat bastard, since I'm not like the deputy boxing black eyes with the Tweety Bird haircut and his sidekick Jiminy Cricket with the Chia Pet spray can hair and the Pete Rose baseball cap with hair, since I'm not like that. I'm not like the Puerto Rican Charlie Brown, Dora the Explorer, what I'm trying, the mad scientist, These people can tell you things and you listen to them, but I've been telling you for the last 3 years, Papi, for the last 3 years. And if you hear, I'm telling you, I'm getting that, Mr. Donut, they don't know how to take me out. They don't know how to take me out. They're trying hard. Papi, I don't want to say too much because they're on to me. I don't know why. I don't know what I've done to them. I don't say, I'm not trying to sell you nothing. I'm not trying to buy you nothing. I'm just trying to give you knowledge. Knowledge for free, You understand me? No more coin flips. No more coin flips this Christmas. No more coin flips. No more coin flips. And ladies and gentlemen, they're on to me. But I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, what the Hungry Hippo, Mr. Magoo, is doing. I've been doing it for the last 2.5 years. And ladies and gentlemen, an example. I've been telling you not to pay for a Vacheron Constantin stainless steel overseas, 4,500 with a beautiful blue dial. I will say to you, between $18,500 and $21,000. You pick it, 21, 19, 18,500, right? And ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe. You're not going to believe what this new, Hungry Hippo, Mr. Magoo is doing, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to believe it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace to the watch industry. Another one is coming in with the same blueprints. You remember that gentleman? That I would call trucking sweat stain hat with jumbo whiteout ears, small little hands, small little feet, with skin tight leotard jeans, small little feet, small feet, ladies and gentlemen, trucking sweat stain hat. He was one of the first to come out with that situation of doing a private watch group and giving you wholesale prices, wholesale prices. And he was charging you lambones and palomos between $2,000, $1,500, and $2,500 for your subscription to become, a private, wholesale group, there. And ladies and gentlemen, to my amaze, many of you lambones, which you guys are a disgrace. You recovering tomato cans, sandbags, crumb bums, crayon eaters, Palmolive dish lickers, possum kickers, cow tippers, unbelievable window lickers. You gave the $2,500 to that small little man, which was like 4 feet, 11 inches, ladies and gentlemen. Trucking sweat stain hat. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you got the gentleman by the name of Hungry Hippo, Mr. Magoo. He has a wholesale group, ladies and gentlemen. If anybody out there knows how much this Hungry Hippo, Mr. Magoo, is charging for his private wholesale group, please let us know how much he's charging you, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm telling you, la situación está jodida. There's no money out there, ladies and gentlemen. There's no money. But watch this, ladies and gentlemen. We got 26 recovering tomato cans and 11 thumbs up. You know what it is? $750 a year he's charging you guys. How do I know? Don't worry about it. I know it already. Because I'm stupid like that, I know it. $750 he's charging for, to become a wholesale group. You get to see all the prices that I give you for free, He said, for an example, ladies and gentlemen, exactly, ladies and gentlemen, do you want to continue crawling with the rats or do you want to soar with the eagles? You understand me? You want to soar with the eagles or you want to crawl with the rats? Because right now, all of you are crawling with the rats. Unbelievable truth. That guy is charging $700. Alberto d'Italia. If you want to join that group, it'll cost you $750 USA. You convert it into euros. If you want to join that lambong, you get it here for free. And what do I get for giving it to you for free? I get this. $750 to join their wholesale group. And he says, and we gave a watch. Listen to what he said. This unbelievable. These people are cretins. These people are an infection in the corner of your ingrown toenail with green, yellow pus. He says, and we gave a wholesale Vacheron Constantin overseas, 4,500, stainless steel with a blue dial. Listen to what he says. We gave it to one of our, our subscribers for $21,000. No comas mierda. I give it to you every day for free. For free, without nothing. We put that thing over there about, how to become a member here. And I don't know, we got like 5 members. Unbelievable, 5 members. That's a record. 5, we got 5. We're happy about that. But I want to let you know what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, okay? That's that Lambong over there, which I call the Hungry Hippo, Mr. Magoo. He has now a wholesale group. I don't know. Mr. Donut is at $750, for the membership for 1 full year. Please verify with me. Mr. Donut works with me too, and Sweet Kikino's here too. He's quiet today. He feels a little bit sad. He had an argument. He doesn't feel good. Just to let you know, allegedly. It's allegedly, ladies and gentlemen. Allegedly. That's all I got to say. No, I don't want to make a group. That's not my style. My style is to give you knowledge, to get you smarter. When I give you today what I'm talking about, what I'm going to talk to you about today, you're going to, coño, how does this one, listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, you're not going to believe this. But right now, they're attacking you with a Rolex, stainless steel, Jubilee bracelet, GMT Pepsi, with the red and blue ceramic bezel. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this. They're asking $29,000, $28,000 for that watch. I know what I'm trying to tell you. I know he needs to take medicine. Kino, dice Ale que te tome la medicina. Dame la pastilla del corazón mío, del corazón. No me mires así. No me mires así. I know what I'm trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. I know, I'm telling you these things because you need to know what's happening. They're asking $29,000, $28,000, $27,000 for the Rolex GMT Pepsi with the red and blue ceramic bezel, No, Christopher, they're not crack smokers. They're trying to cast, they're trying to cast and hook you. Coger un pendejo, un lambón, un maranito. You know what maranito is? Un maranito. That's what they're trying to get. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to just tell all of you this. Once the watch is being talked about getting discontinued, collector's choice, collector's dream, collector's grade, once they're talking about that, the watch is going to the moon. But once the watch gets discontinued, it's going to drop faster than Bill Clinton's pants in an Arkansas farmhouse. If that watch truly gets discontinued, it'll drop from $27,000. I'm going to give you the average number, $27,000. It'll drop to $18,900. And then it'll drop down to $18,500. And then it'll drop down to $18,000. Discontinued watches is the biggest sketch you can ever get involved in. Unbelievable true. I'm telling you con el corazón en la mano. I'm telling you with my heart. It's the biggest sketch there is. The hype only happens while they're talking about the watch getting discontinued. No te metas aquí, no. Tómate la pastilla, pero no te metas aquí, no. No te metas en esto. No te metas en esto. No te metas. No te metas en esto. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. While the watch is being talked about getting discontinued, the watch is blowing up. This is how these Meshuggahs, this is how these flim-flammers, these hucksters, these hoodwinks make $10,000 on your children's tuition money, on your wife's 401k. You don't have no more 401k. You spend it all. You spend it all por lambones. This is why Sweet Kikino did this channel, to protect you lambones. That's what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. You do whatever you want, but be careful with that Rolex GMT Pepsi with a Jubilee bracelet and the blue and red ceramic bezel with a black dial. Forget about the oyster. The oyster's already at $18,500. The oyster bracelet is the Jubilee a los lambones. Ladies and gentlemen, I also got to tell you something else. Two companies have said again, because I am the big boss. When you're the big boss, you know these things already. Because you live in that world. You live in the underground world, underworld, We live there. Sweet Kikino's from the underworld, and he passes everything to me. But we have a company by the name of Fudinki. You know, Fuldinki was the one that chose us the #1 watch market update show in the world. You know it, Christopher. Thank you very much. The big boss, TBB. Always put the initials TBB. It freaks them out. TBB, the big boss. We have Fuldinki, which they chose us the #1 watch market update show. And also, ladies and gentlemen, Stanley Morgan. And you're not going to believe this, ladies and gentlemen. Stanley Morgan has said that the two biggest watch brands, the two biggest watch brands right now at this moment, you know what they are. You know what they are. One is this one right here. One is that one right there, ladies and gentlemen. You see the middle? You see the middle? It's like a triangle. Right in the middle is a triangle. What does a triangle mean? That's what that means. That's #1. And ladies and gentlemen, number two, and nobody's getting close to them. #2, you don't have to like it. You don't have to like it. #2, does anybody know what #2 is? Does anybody know what #2 is? Let's see. This is what Fuldinki, and you know, Stanley Morgan. I think it's called that way. Thank you, Mr. Donut. Thank you, Mr. Donut. Thank you, Brand. Thank you, Brand. Thank you, Brand. Thank you, Brand. It's unbelievable, but the #2 watch brand company is Cartier. Don't let nobody sell you no fantasy. Do not let nobody sell you no fantasy. Muchas gracias, Alberto. Coño, tenemos aquí otro más. Otro coño, Alberto. Eres uno de los míos, Alberto. Coño, Alberto. It's unbelievable that Alberto. Thank you, Alberto. I don't know how to give you a super chat here. I don't know how to do that, you know, but let me see if I can try to do something here. I don't know what happened here, but you guys are unbelievable. You guys are great for supporting this channel. You know, that shows me that you guys want us to, you know, to be around for a while, you know, to keep on giving you all this knowledge. But ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you this, you're not going to believe what I'm going to tell you, because some of you don't know about this. But I don't know if you know. Maybe people do know this. Maybe I'm the only lambón. But I don't know if you know this. Are you guys hearing me? Because this is the unbelievable show. I don't know if you guys know this. Gracias, Alberto. Muchas gracias, papá. I don't know if you guys know this, but Switzerland has over 450 watch brands. Switzerland. I'm not talking about Germany or, you know, wherever, you know, I'm talking about Switzerland has over 450 watch brands. 450. Tú sabes que te quiero decir. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. 450 watch brands are over there. Over there in Switzerland, ladies and gentlemen. And the 1-2 punch is the king of watches, the Crown. The Crown, ladies and gentlemen, the Crown. The Crown and Cartier. And then third place, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know what third place is, third place. Bobby, this is unbelievable. Third place, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very disappointed on the #4. I'm very, very disappointed on #4. I don't know how that, you know, I don't know how that happened. Eso correcto, papá. Be quiet, Mr. Donor, be quiet. But #3, ladies and gentlemen, is Patek Philippe, #3. But #4, I couldn't believe where #4 was. #4, ladies and gentlemen, is a watch brand that I've been talking to you, that they even did a collab, you know, collaboration, you know, a collab. I don't know how that word is. They did a collab with Richie Mille, you know, with that, you know, with the soccer watch, with the soccer tourbillon watch. You know, they were the ones that did everything. You know, the one that did everything there was AP. I'm talking about the movement, you know, the movement. The soccer, you know, the soccer, the watch cost $1.93 million. The soccer watch. And they put AP as #4. #4. But if you guys don't know this, The Crown now accounts for about one third of the industries in sales. You know what that is? It's a 32.9%. The Crown is, they're in charge of sales. Papi, of 100%, you're 32.9. Let's say 33%. You know what Rolex is doing, man? Es una jodienda. What's number 5, Alberto? What's number 5? Unbelievable what these people have. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. I like when you guys correct me, and I respect all that. That's beautiful. But what I'm telling you is what I read and what Sweet Kid Kino writes down for me. Maybe you're right. Maybe Sweet Kid Kino, tú eres un lambón, Kino, que lo pusiste mal, porque aquí me está corrigiendo. No te metas más si tú no sabes. La Lockley. I'm telling you what it was. No, I was saying Cartier's number 5. No, Cartier's number 2. That's the crazy thing. Cartier's number 2. Rolex, Cartier, Patek Philippe, AP, I believe Omega. I don't know if Richard Mille is 6 or 7. There you go, number 6. There it is, Richard Mille number 6. But this is really getting scary when you read. See, because one thing is that they tell you, well, Rolex is number 1. But then when they tell you the number, Papi, you might as well, please guys, correct me if I'm wrong. It's not 100%, but you might as well say, coño, you have 450 watch brands. Somebody said we have like 1,000, right? I read in the paper, 450, right? But let's say we have 1,000 watch brands over there in Switzerland, 1,000, and you have Rolex controlling a 32.9% of sales. That's it. They're the only watch brand. They got the big round table and everybody sits around them. And everybody there is with a crown on. It's unbelievable. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. I don't know. But, I have so many things to tell you. Yes, they're shooting at me, Papi. They're shooting at me. They're shooting at me because I'm dropping too much knowledge for free. But ladies and gentlemen, because if the TV antenna falls down, I'm not going to come back to do the show again. I will stop right here. 6. I already said that. Soldier. I already said that. I already told them already. Salute Diao, please, guys, because they're threatening me. They're threatening me with grenades. They're throwing grenades. Salute Diao. Salute Diao, ladies and gentlemen. At the Bohemian Grove, where they're going to make the biggest decisions of us. They're going to sacrifice all of us. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you something that is something big that I'm going to tell you. If the RSI is hearing me, well, you should pay attention when I'm going to tell you RSI. All right? The RSI. Ladies and gentlemen, it has come to our attention that we have a watch dealer out of the Lone Star State. We have a watch dealer out of the Lone Star State. They're twin brothers, I call them in a sweet way, Big Pun and Heavy D, ladies and gentlemen. They have never come back to make a live video or make a video content for you lambones because La Citación, they turned them upside down. Those two guys, they're a little bit overweight, just a little bit. They ride on Ducati motorcycles and they drive on Ferraris, Ferraris and Rolls Royce and Bentleys. You know what I'm trying to say? Those guys over there, I don't know. They're like twin brothers and they're very heavy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, those gentlemen have a big problem. They got a big problem, ladies and gentlemen, because you cannot survive by making a 5% on a watch. The numbers don't add up. You cannot be driving around a Rolls Royce Phantom. You can't be riding around a Bentley, Ducati Ducati Italian motorcycles, you know, Indian motorcycles like a Harley Davidson. You understand me? You can't. The numbers don't add up. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's the best next thing you can do. Is, ladies and gentlemen, if the if the if the RSI is hearing me, you're gonna learn from me something today, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm gonna say allegedly, and I'm gonna say not out of 100%, not everybody is doing it. But I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, all these watch backpacker dealers out there, they're having a hard time. They are doing it, ladies and gentlemen. They are doing it. And the way they're making, you know, that 20%, you know, the total 20%, the 5% they're getting by selling the watch, and the 15% that they need to make a 20 so they can keep on riding around in their red Go Fast car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys were smart enough, you would listen to this. Because I'm stupid like that. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. If the RSI is hearing me, these people are selling watches and charging you an 8% tax and I don't know, let's say in New York City, 8.75%. You know, you go to California, they're charging a 10.75% in tax. You know what I'm trying to say? You go to Pennsylvania over there. You know, deputy boxing black eyes, they charge you a 6%. You go to Texas, they charge you a total of 8.25%. And ladies and gentlemen, all these watch dealers, you guys don't know about this, ladies and gentlemen. Let me give you an example, ladies and gentlemen. You know, back in the 70s, we had a gentleman by the name of Michael Franzese. You know, Michael Franzese. You know, his father was Sonny Franzese. You know, John Franzese. And unbelievable, you know, the father went away. You know, he went away. And the son stood around, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, this guy did the most perfect, you know, thing that you can never, you will never believe what this guy did, you know. You will never, a young kid, what he did. He was brillante. He was unbelievable. And ladies and gentlemen, he did something that he belonged to the Colombo crew. You know, I know you guys don't know about that. You got 5 families in New York, and you got a total of 9 in the United States. You know, you got the Colombo, Bonanno, Lucchese, Genovese, and Gambino. So, and you got 4 more throughout the United States. And this kid belonged to the Colombo because his father was part of that, you know, part of that family. And this kid did something that he left the Colombo family homeless. He started getting gasoline stations, ladies and gentlemen. He started buying gasoline stations all over. He had over 350 gasoline stations throughout the United States. And ladies and gentlemen, he was pocketing from the United States, you know, RSI, you know, the RSI, you know, he was pocketing $8 million a week, you know, a week. He was making $8 million in 1977 through the mid-1980s, ladies and gentlemen. Something unheard of. It went on for 7-8 years, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable, you know. It was unbelievable. Franzese, you know, Michael Franzese. Sonny, you know, Sonny was his father. And his father, you know, his father was a man of integrity. Paco Gambino told me that always. You know, that Sonny said, listen to me. When they pinched him, he said, they're telling me that I'm going to do 50 years. And you know what he said? I'll do it sleeping. These people are beasts. He said, I'll do the 50 years sleeping, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, he passed away in 2020 with 103 years old. That's Sonny Franzese, John Franzese, you know, the father of this Michael. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, he was making $8 million a week. And every time since the RSI was so behind, they didn't collect. You know, back then they didn't want to collect nothing. It was hard. So he was coming in, this 20-something-year-old kid was coming in with a Samsonite suitcase, giving it to the Colombo family. This kit was made of a captain with some 20-something years old. It's unbelievable. This is the guy that has the blueprints of what all these watch dealers are doing today. They're not paying taxes. That's it. What they're selling now is give me the whatever's the taxes. If you sell a watch for $100,000, please figure this out for me. Please, Mr. Donut, Mr. Blair, Mr. Wicked, Thurston Howard III, all of you do this for me. If the watch costs $100,000 and you have a California tax of 10.75, how much is that? How much is that? And that's what's going on right now, ladies and gentlemen. All these Muppet boiler room secondary grade watch market dealers ain't making no more money. No more pigs this Christmas. No more pigs. And I'm the one. If you want to come and see me, you come and see me. I'll give you classes too. You think they don't know it? You don't think the RSI knows this already? Of course they know it, Bobby. These guys cannot be driving around a red Gold fast car, a big, a fat Harley Davidson, a Ducati Italian motorcycle, Lamborghini, Ferrari. You can't. You can't live off of 5%. So you have to do the best thing. Next, what Michael Francisi did. You know what he was making? 40 cents. 40 cents on taxes he was putting in his pocket. And every time, this is how, when you're that young, that's why I say que la cabeza no es solamente para pelo. The head is not only for hair, it's for thinking, Thank you very much, Wiki, for that super chat. Super thanks, excuse me. Let me give you, I can't do because my thing is stuck, Wiki, so I can't give you a sweetheart. Not because I don't want, it's because, TV antenna. I can't do it, but thank you so much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. So, ladies and gentlemen, this kid was making so much money. And every time that the tax people will come around, what he would do is he would close the business and call it bankruptcy. Call it bankruptcy. So those people from over there, from the Lone Star State, the two twin brothers, you Big Pun and Heavy D, they got a problem. They needed to stay with all those taxes so they can keep on riding their Ducatis and Harleys and Indian bikes. And you know what I'm saying? You guys don't know about this, Papa. You guys don't know. That's unos lambones. What I give you guys for free. It's unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen, what I give you for free. They see me and they shake on their boots because they say this mother frogger knows all the in and outs. Excuse me, not me. Not me. Sweet Kid Kino. Kino is the brains of this channel. The brains, and I am the voice. I am the voice, ladies and gentlemen. I am the voice. I am the voice, the master. I am just the big boss because Sweet Kid Kino told me that I must change my name to the big boss. The big boss. And ladies and gentlemen, every time that he will hear footsteps that they were coming, the RSI, when he will hear the RSI coming, they will close, the boiler room and run. And listen to this. The same place that he will close down, he will buy it again and do it all over again. Papi, a scheme that lasted 7 years, it's like you won't believe it. It's unbelievable, 7 years. So these Muppet boiler room secondary grade watch market channels and dealers, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to take the liberty to tell you, man, that I will say a 70% work like that and 30% don't. And the first thing they're going to ask you is what state you're in, what taxes you have. They don't care, ladies and gentlemen, no more selling you a watch. They know the watch market is dead. They know this. You see, I'm telling you something that you didn't know, but now you know it now. You know it from me, and you got it for free. Now they say the watch costs $100,000, and the watch really costs $98,000 plus your Uncle Sam's taxes. They don't care. They say, let's just sell it for $95,000. We're gonna get $9,000 in taxes that we're not gonna pay. Papi, I'm stupid like that, man. I'm stupid like that. Papi, I'm stupid like that. It's no big deal. These blueprints, that kid, that 27-year-old kid, Michael Francisi, did it, ladies and gentlemen. He did it. For 7 years, you know what's $8 million a week? He had to go to all the gasoline stations in Staten Island, Long Island, the Bronx, Queens, Manhattan, you know, everywhere, all the boroughs over there. And then he had to take a flight and go to California because he had over there too. The government was taking their time, you know, probably a year and a half would go by. Papi, to do a scheme for 7 years, you got to be unbelievable. And it's the same thing with the taxes of these watches. You know, they got an LLC company. They do whatever they want. You know, they're not, beep, bang, boom, put it in the pocket. I got to pay my rent on my house. Boom, put it in my pocket. They bought me a $150,000 watch, a 9% tax. Boom, put it in my pocket. It's disgusting, ladies and gentlemen. The watch market is dead, ladies and gentlemen. The watch market is dead. There's not a channel like this channel. There's not a channel like this channel. They should be happy that I'm talking to you like this. So you guys can learn. So you guys can learn. Are you guys learning today something different? Exactly. You know about this. So you know about this. You know about this. This guy was everywhere. You know what it is? 31. I had 36 organic watch channel subscribers or spookers, and I only have 21 thumbs up with the show that I'm giving you guys. That you guys don't call you this guy, man. How does he do it? Papa, you sell a watch for $400,000. For $400,000, right? And you're charging a 8% of that. You know the money you're making? You're not going to want to give that to those people over there at the RSI. You don't want to give it to the RSI. There's no way in the world you want to give it. How much is 400,000 times 8%? It's an unbelievable amount of money. It's an unbelievable amount of money, ladies and gentlemen. $300,000. It's an unbelievable amount of money for something this small. You know, this small. This small, ladies. No sean pendejos y lambones. Ladies and gentlemen, what I get, what I do for you. You know what's $32,000? You know what's getting $32,000? Papi, and they all operate that way. Listen to me. These people are in a situation right now that they don't know what to do to maintain that lifestyle that you guys were maintaining. It's you know, you were maintaining that lifestyle. You know, you go buy, let's say you go buy a Rolex, a date emoji, yellow gold. A watch costs $250,000, right? You know, you don't care about selling the watch. I mean, you do care about selling the watch, but where you're going to make your money is on the taxes. You don't care. I'm going to make the money on taxes. You know? And ladies and gentlemen, to let you know something else too, para que no sean lambones. And then they tell you, look, the watch, an example, so you understand me. Hey, the watch is $100,000. How about if I pay you in cash $100,000? Will you knock off the taxes? You know what the deal told you? No. We can't play with that. I'd rather you just, you know, send me a wire, you know, give me a check, you know, but pay me the taxes. Pay me the taxes. You don't know about that. You don't know about that kind of stuff. Ustedes no saben de esto. This is why I'm here, papi. You know, wire, bing, 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 wire, bing, 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 bing. Because they care about that cut. They care about that cut. You buy a $40,000 watch and you're paying $2,700 in taxes. Boom, for my pocket. For my pocket. You don't know about this kind of stuff. You know? You guys need to get prepared for all this. When you guys go to see watch dealers and you talk like this, they say, I don't know, but a watch dealer was here today. They're going to say, Alberto, the watch dealer is here. Mr. Donut, the watch dealer is here. Mr. Thurston Howard III, the watch dealer is here. Because only people that know about this is people from the underworld, like Sweet Kid Kino. You know, Sweet Kid Kino is from the underworld. And he knows all that, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it from here. 70% do it and 30% don't do it. I'm being very kind with that 30%. I'm telling you. And that too. And that too. Exactly. Coño, who wrote that there? I can't even see it. Very well said about taxes and gold. It's what it is. But ladies and gentlemen, they're having a hard time. So if the RSI is hearing me, you know it already, papi. You know it. This is what these guys are doing over there. They're living off the taxes that they're charging, that they're not paying. You know, us people, you know, like me, that I'm about to retire and I need my SSI, Social Security, do you know? You know what I'm trying to say. There's more money, you know, Michael Francisi said it. You know, there's more money in taxes than in the gasoline. Because they will get a state was 25 to 30 cents, 25 to 30 cents, and I don't know what it was. Out of state was 9%, 9 cents. 25, 30, and 9 cents. It became 40 cents. And they didn't have a problem paying the truck. You know, the truck, the big tank that came with the Esso gasoline. You know, the Tiger. Oh, you know, the Tiger from Esso. They will pay that right away. They will pay those people right away. But not the guy over there, you know, the guy with the big hat. You know what they call it? You know, the guy with the tuxedo, with the blue and red and white tuxedo. What do they call it? Uncle Sam? I don't know. They don't pay that guy. This is crazy, ladies and gentlemen, you know? They're not like us, ladies and gentlemen. Lean back, lean back, lean back, all the way up, all the way up. They're not like us, ladies and gentlemen. They're not like us. People come to this channel to learn from me, and they're quiet. It's incredible. We've had 36. We're still at 24 thumbs up with the show that I am giving you people for free. Papi, you don't understand, ladies and gentlemen. You don't understand. And let me tell you something. The guy was driving around in a Porsche. You know, that guy, the Michael Francisi, in a Porsche all over the place. All over the place. And like he said, I didn't care. It was, if I was going to get caught with $1 million, or I was going to get caught with $1 billion, I still was going to get the same time. You know what I'm trying to say? He was in his nice Porsche, white Porsche, and he had Carrera glasses on that were bigger than his head. You know what I'm trying to say? Go big or go home. You know me? I know what I'm trying to tell you guys. I know this is hard for you to understand, but Paco Gambino and my father explained to me everything. Papi, these people were ruling out there, man. You know what it is that the RSI, they found out after 6 years what was going on, and the Colombo family was getting this fat, you know, fat with money. Fat with money, ladies and gentlemen. But I hope you understand what's happening, and it's a big epidemic in the watch industry. I don't care where you're from. If you're from Greece, if you're from Italy, if you're from the United States, if you're from Congo, I don't care where you're from. I don't care. It's happening everywhere, papi. They see it. Here it goes. They see it as free money. As free money. You understand me? They see it as free money, papi. There it is. You know, I sold the $300,000 watch. How much did you make on the watch? Forget about what I made on the watch. What I made in taxes. Forget about what I made on the watch. What I made in taxes. I'm here, papi. There it is, papi. You don't know about this kind of stuff, papa. You don't know about this kind of stuff. All these people, man, they're upside down right now because they're trying to continue living a lifestyle, which is, you know, you can't. With a 5%, you can't live. No hay. No hay dinero. No hay, there's no money right now. There's no money. When you have free government money and SBA loans and PPP loans and free government money, Social Security, stimulus checks, protection checks for your employees, papi, it was easy. But not now, papi. Now is when they're going to start getting pinched. You don't know what pinch is. You don't know what pinch is. You don't know what that is. But I'm going to give you a watch market update so we can continue skip hopping around through life like rabbits. You know, this is a big show that I gave you guys today. You know, I can go even deeper, but I might scare you guys. You know, so I don't want to go deeper. You know, no, Kino, ¿para qué voy a hablar más? Kino, ¿para qué? Si ellos están, ellos no entienden esta filosofía, no la entienden. Ellos están todavía en el mundo pajero. No, ellos no entienden esto. No te metas. It's incredible, Bobby. You know, it's incredible. You guys gotta be very, very careful. You know, and when you have 350 gasoline stations, and you shut down operation like having a boiler room, you shut down like having a telecommunication. You know, over there. You know, and calling people trying to sell them something. You know what I'm saying? Try to sell them something from, I don't know, from Buy Best, Buy Best, or the Geek, and you own us money and go deposit over there, put it in Bitcoin. Papi, el mundo está lleno de fantasía. And we believe that. We want to believe a lie, man. We want to believe a lie. And that kid was unbelievable. I gotta tell you, man, he had the blueprints. It's been around forever, but what he did was a master plan, man. It was a master plan. You know what it is to be making that money in a week. The people over there, the Colombo family, they said, we have to make this man. We have to make him. And I don't mean just make him and put him in the organization. They made him they made him, I don't know, they made him a lieutenant, like Lieutenant Dame, Lieutenant Dame from Forrest Gump, Lieutenant Dame, they made him a lieutenant. He had he had his own crew at 27 years old, big Carrera glasses, white white Porsche, unbelievable, I mean, like instant coffee. The Colombo family made him a lieutenant like this. And the other Lambones, the other guys that were there for 30, 25, 40 years, they still haven't even made it to a made man. You know what I'm saying? And this kid made it all the way to the top, because he was bringing in $8 million a week, man. A week. You don't believe me? Google it so you can see how long he was doing this, man. So these kids, these watch dealers have the same blueprints, and they need to do it because they need to continue maintaining that Ducati motorcycle lifestyle, that Rolls Royce Phantom lifestyle. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about those two kids. They're kind of fat. The twins, the twin brothers. If they don't make no more content. No more content this Christmas. No more content. No more. I'm telling you, there's and he says in an interview that it was just so easy and so simple that it was crazy. He would hear footsteps, shut down one place, open another one. Shut down, 350 gasoline stations. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't even have to say allegedly. Just Google it all, man. Google it all, and you're going to go, what the heck? And all these Lambones are doing the same thing because they don't have no more money. And they have to get your taxes. They got to get your taxes. No, I can't. Even if I listen to this one, it's even better. Even if you pay me with cash, I can't take off the taxes. You got to pay me the taxes. It works like a charm. A watch costs $100,000 and they give you $110,000. $10,000 in my pocket in taxes. Here's the watch. You guys don't want to hear this, man. You guys want to continue hearing about straps and rotors and bezels and I don't know, and it's hand stacks and date wheels. No, Papi, we teach you here. We teach you here. We teach you here what it is, Papi. We're not gonna be talking about let me give you a watch market update because I'm a little bit exhausted. I'm a little bit exhausted. Ladies and gentlemen, our first watch is a Vacheron Constantin Overseas Ultra Thin Perpetual Calendar, 41.5 millimeter. Yes, I spoke to you about this watch the other day, but it was a rose gold one with a blue dial. This one is a white gold, which if you ask me, which one do you like more, Juan? I am going to have to tell you with all honesty, I'm going to have to tell you, I like the white gold with the blue dial. Unbelievable, unbelievable, ultra thin, unbelievable. The 4300V, the 4300V white dial, blue dial with a retail price of $111,000. Take an example right here. The watch is $111,000. Check this out. $111,000. The situation right now in selling watches is dead. It's dead. Ultra thin, the luxury one, papi. Mira, beautiful watch. Beautiful watch. 41.5 millimeter casing. It hugs your wrist. It hugs your wrist. Coño, no joda, brother. Listen, guys, and this is no sketch. Mr. Dona says $78,000, and I am going to tell you don't pay more than $78,000. And I swear, no problem. I have to do it. 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 Right there. You see it? The number one. $78,000. I don't know. One more time. VC Overseas Ultra Thin. You seeing it? You seeing it? $78,000. I'm going to say something, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how to bullshit, man. I said it wrong. I can bullshit you all day long, but I just don't know how to bullshit. And Mr. Dona says $78,000, and I got to go, wow. How did Mr. Dona? I've never met Mr. Dona. Or he is a big time watch collector, or he is involved with people that know about the watch industry, because he said $78,000 and I have $78,000. That's number one right there, number one. And I go, what? Christopher said $85,000. And I'm telling you, Christopher don't pay more than 78, and is dropping faster than Billy Boy's pants. You know where, all right? Our next watch, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to you, Mr. Dona. My respect to you, for real, Papa, my respect. I don't know, but I meant that in a good way. It's a compliment, that you're, I don't know how you know this, but you know it. Okay, thank you. Okay, wow. I'm very flattered. Thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Donut. Gracias, papá. Coño, qué sentimiento aquí, no lo que dijo Mr. Donut, que eso lo aprendió de los otros. No farmhouse, yes, it is. Our next watch, very well said, Mr. Blair. Our next watch is a Vacheron Constantin Overseas Chrono Stainless Steel Reverse Panda. Instead of having a white dial with the black gauges, this is a black dial with the white gauges. The Reverse Panda. Beautiful watch, ladies and gentlemen, with a 42.5 millimeter casing, and the reference number is the 5500V. Collector's choice, collector's dream, collector's unit, the sketch. This has been, is no more. This reference number has been discontinued. The Panda is dead. Unbelievable that Mr. Dona. Well, Mr. Dona, what's the price of it? Mr. Brand is saying $27,000. Okay. The retail price of that watch is $35,600. And to all of you that are looking into that watch, and I'm going to keep on telling you, Vacheron Constantin watches are unbelievable watches. Randy said 26. Randy, you're very, very close to that number, to be honest. Right now, you're the closest that has hit that number, with all honesty. But here it goes. Anybody want to give me? Christopher, shoot one. Come on. Okay. Thurston, shoot one. No cheating here. No cheating. Anyway, nobody has the prices that I have, Alex. So even if they cheat, they don't. Stop right there, Miss. Don't pay for that beautiful Vacheron Constantin overseas with a reverse panda. Beautiful, 42.5, 5500 V. Retail price, 35,600. Don't pay more than $23,000. $23,000. Cash is king, papi. I'm telling you what they're doing to survive out there. You still don't get it? I'm telling you what they're doing. They're staying with taxes. They're selling taxes now because there's no money out there. There's no money out there. I know you guys don't want to hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a watch that just came out not too long ago. The watch market is dead. It's a Vacheron Constantin overseas rose gold self-winding. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Vacheron Constantin rose gold self-winding with a green dial. With a green dial. Unbelievable green dial, ladies and gentlemen. The 4520, not the 4500, the 4520, the new reference. The 4500 has been retired. You know, the blue dial with the rose gold is gone. This one is the green dial, rose gold, 4520, ladies and gentlemen, with a 41 millimeter casing. And ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't know this, today you're going to know it. The retail price of that watch is $69,000. $69,000 is the MSRP on that watch. And I'm going to take the liberty to ask some of you, how much do you think that watch is costing now? You must have saw it. You saw it, Mr. Donor. Mr. Donor, you saw my price. You saw Unbelievable. Mr. Donut, put the price you said again. Put the price you put up, you just said right now. I'm telling you, when you hear this watch, this is a $69,000 watch plus your Uncle Sam's taxes. This is where they make their money. You see, he put there 54,500. I'm gonna turn the page around because I don't know what he's doing. You guys believe me, right? Don't pay more than $54,500. $54,500. Papi, the watch market is dead. If you put a 10% taxes on $54,500, how much is the taxes on that watch? How much are the taxes? $54,500, and you put a 10%, how much is that? How much you gonna get in taxes? Papi, it's more money, man. It's more money. $5,400. Papi, that's it. We do this for a couple of years. We live like kings. We stay out of the spotlight. No more content. How much do you think those people from over there, over there, Beverly Hills, at the night at the Roxbury, the two brothers, one is tall, one is short, one is introverted, one talks, and their salesman is the number one salesman in the watch business. Toupee Wigman, with the green pointy shoes, yellow jeans, flowered shirt. Toupee Wigman, 86 years old, driving around a Ferrari. He's a salesman from those people. I'm telling you, in the United States, because I say things the way it is, I'm telling you, feet happy, feet happy over there. There's not a business out there they should be happy when they hear me say this. I'm giving them a shout out. There's nobody in the United States that has more watches than those Michiganers. That's what I got to tell you. You know how much money they're pumping in gas and taxes there? You know how much? It's some serious, serious tax money. You do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk to you about another Vacheron Constantin overseas. Some of these Vacheron Constantin subscriber asked me to please give them these prices, and I will. This is the Vacheron Constantin overseas stainless steel chrono with a reference number 49150 with a blue dial. This is a super, super discontinued watch. You know, super discontinued. Chronograph, blue dial, 49150, blue dial. Discontinued with a 42 millimeter casing. This watch has a retail, or it had a retail price of $22,100. Unbelievable, you know, same bracelet, beautiful, you know, that overseas bracelet. Cojones. I have to give it to him. Don't pay more than $18,000. Don't pay more. You want to see it again? I got to put my hand here now. Right there. $18,500. Don't pay more than $18,000. Don't pay more, sir. You pay more, eres un lambón. You pay more, eres un lambón. Maybe I'll say 17.5. How's that? Don't pay more than 17.5. That's all. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Rolex stainless steel Sprite with an oyster bracelet. Rolex stainless steel Sprite, GMT, left-handed, with an oyster bracelet, 40 millimeter, reference number 126720VTNR. How much? How much am I going to have to pay for that watch? How much? Very well, Wicked, very well. Don't pay for that watch more, for that Sprite stainless steel oyster bracelet. Don't pay more than $14,600, and you do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Richard Mille. Richard Mille, RM011 with the initials FM. Felipe Massa. Felipe Massa. Skeleton. Skeleton dial. Carbon case. Chrono flyback. Watches from 2012, 13, you know, 14. Somebody said $150,000. Is that 150 euros, 150,000 euros, or 150,000 US dollars, Alberto? Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. You can continue giving away your money. Help out the animal shelters. Man, who said 147? Randy. Coño. Forget about it. Randy already said it. Don't pay. You were doing good, Christopher, but it's not that one, but it's what Randy said. Don't pay more than $147,000 for that watch. Don't pay more than $147,000. Don't pay. Ladies and gentlemen, at times I believe that I'm telling you that, you know, you want to give your money away, give it away, give it away, give it away, like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You give it away to the animal shelters. And at times, I believe that Sweet Kid Kino, he's an animal. Randy, well done, papi. Felicidades. Wow. Randy, you came out blazing. You were quiet, but you came out blazing. What was the question? Say it again. What was the question, Alberto? What was the question? Yes, a skeleton. Yeah, he got it. He got it, Mr. Donut. To St. Jude. To St. Jude. Exactly. Yeah. Give it to St. Jude. Euros or dollars? What was it? Euros or dollars, Alberto? Of dollar. Well said. Good job. Here it goes, ladies and gentlemen. This is a watch that I want. This is the watch that I'm going to be able to see. Dollari now. Okay, papi. Bien. Bien, Alberto. Bien, papi. Bien. Tú eres uno de los míos. I want to see where you guys are at, because this is a monster watch. And it's a monster watch because I remember in that year, 2021, 2022, they were asking for this watch. Oh, man. Yeah, you saw it. Yeah. They were asking for this watch. Unbelievable. I'm going to just say that, $300,000 was an easy number, and you were sitting in your go fast car, bing, 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 why, bing, 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 why, all day. And ladies and gentlemen, this is an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. Frosted. I repeat, frosted. Frosted rose gold chronograph, blue dial, unbelievable time machine. Le Lucle, papa. AP, frosted, papi, frosted chronograph, blue dial with the gauges in gold. Unbelievable looking watch. Unbelievable. And ladies and gentlemen, the reference number is the 26239 OR. 26239 OR with a 41 millimeter casing. I know it. It's happening today. They're really, I don't know why. Let me give it to them. Hold on. I'm on your team, guys. I'm on your team. I'm only helping my subscribers. That's all. I'm sorry. Frosted rose gold, blue dial, blue gauges. Beautiful watch. 26239 OR. How much? How much? How much? You had to be somebody special to get that watch. They had to take you to the backs, and they will clean up, and they will wax your sinus congestion with this watch. You know what I'm trying to say, Alex. In dollars, Alberto, dollars. This watch was a monster watch, Papi. I don't know. You guys are saying some crazy numbers, and I wish I can say $70,000, but I can't because that's a lie. Okay, Randy is getting somewhere. Randy's getting somewhere. But I'm gonna tell you, ladies and gentlemen, don't pay for that beautiful AP Royal Oak frosted rose gold chronograph blue dial gold gauges 26239 OR 41 millimeter. Don't pay more. Gold. No. Rose gold, papi. Rose gold. Un relosazo. It's a beautiful watch, man. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful watch. You put that watch, and you're walking by Charleston, and the bridge, the Clam Bridge over there in Charleston, over there. You put it on your wrist, and the mommies will throw you la panty cagada. Que tiran la panty cagada. I'm just telling you what it is. Don't pay. It's a beautiful watch, man. It's a beautiful. Okay. 30 West Mike, he hit it. Don't pay. 30 West Mike hit it. 30 West Mike hit the number. Don't pay for that watch. He said 125, and I'm going to tell all of you, don't pay more. And I'm telling you, this watch is still dropping. This watch is still dropping. So if you are looking into it, be careful. Don't pay for that watch more than $124,000. 124. And ladies and gentlemen, this is my last watch market update of the evening. I'm your host, the big boss. And I'm going to give you this last watch market update. I hope you guys have learned something today again. I hope you guys have learned something. We're talking about the Patek Philippe Aquanaut. Patek Philippe Aquanaut white gold. Patek Philippe Aquanaut white gold 5168 with a 42.2 millimeter casing, blue dial, blue strap. It's it's like a very, very dark, blue, And the retail price of that watch, ladies and gentlemen, is $57,890. We're talking about the 5168. Does anybody have an idea how much that watch you think it should be, being okay? That's a good start. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay, 80, 84, 94. Okay. All right, guys. Okay. Well, I'm going to tell all of you, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what they keep on telling you, no matter what they keep on banging you in the head with, don't pay for that watch more than $82,500 and dropping. All right, guys? That is your watch market update show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from a lot of different topics that we talked about, especially from the taxes, from the RSI, what they're doing, what these Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market dealers are doing, to stay afloat, and you guys can continue maintaining their lifestyle. I'm here just to show you. And everything, ladies and gentlemen, that I said today is allegedly. Every single thing that I have said is allegedly. On behalf of me and Sweet Kid Kino, like we say always, take care and brush your hair. Have a good night, guys. Peace to all of you. Lo quiero mucho. A tutti. Lo quiero mucho. Bendiciones a todos. You guys were on fire today. You guys were great. You guys were just spectacular. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, guys. Man, we got 28 thumbs up. That's pretty good. Right? 28. Unbelievable. Bye-bye, guys. Good night.